Where did you know that John Brown could throw such a nice football?
You do a lot of things in OTAs and in training camp, and you evaluate a lot of different things. That was one of them. He's got a good arm. He's a good athlete. Then you see him throw the ball into the stands of the Miami game. So, gave him an opportunity. He made a good throw.
Ryan Cole mentioned after the game the play he scored on was something he brought to you
Yeah.
in his college days. I think he's mentioned back and forth between you two in regards to plays and things like that.
Sure.
Dating back into training camp, how involved has he been, and how unique is that from a wide receiver's perspective?
Well, he's a veteran, and he's a smart player. And I think when you have smart players that have played in the league for a while or have had some success, there's good give and take. This is our system offensively, and if a coach or a player has a good idea, you do your due diligence, you research it, you practice it. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Cole, his football acumen, his IQ. We've talked about this before. For a receiver, he can see the game through the quarterback's eyes. It's not something that you can really teach. You got to have it instinctively. And yeah, he brought it up, I think, when we were at Fisher. And we've worked on it. We've called it a few times here the last few weeks. But yeah, he's a smart guy.
Even as the production, the points weren't there mid-season when his whole team went with a little bit of a sluggish point. Did you see this coming? Did you see the potential that this offense had, given how it's producing now?
Yeah, it's the National Football League. The National Football League is tough. Every week is tough. Beginning part of the year, middle part of the year, end of the season type, December, November games. You'd like to be playing meaningful games in December. That's the goal. And your approach has to stay consistent in terms of your preparation, your practice habits, your game planning. There's going to be, ruts. There's going to be times where you got to face adversity head on. That's why you bring in the right type of guy. Mentally tough, physically tough, people that can handle, adversity, one way or the other. And our job is to go out there and perform, and again, give the players credit for executing. We've got a long way to go, a lot of things to work on. Starting this week against, a team the last 6 weeks that's given up 13 points a game, first in the league, best against the best quarterback rating, somewhere around 70%, somewhere in that area, best in the red zone, 184-point differential in the last 6 games, against some pretty good football teams. Daunting task, challenging defense. Coach Martindale does, I'd say, a phenomenal job of giving you multiplicity of looks. That'll be a challenging week for preparation.
Coach, I think you're third, or offense ranks third in yards per game over the past 3 weeks. Have you ever seen this change that drastic?
Look, we go out there and we execute. That's the job of an offense, is to execute, to move the ball, and to score points. I've said this plenty of times. Give credit to the players. They're doing a good job. We're going to need to continue to do that.
I guess drastic is the wrong choice. I meant to more like, have you just seen anything like this where it just clicks?
Well, I've seen a lot, being in the league for 20 years, both good and bad. You have to stay at it. You have to be consistent with your approach. Things aren't always going to be perfect. There's going to be down times, and there's going to be up times. And, we try to stress is 1 week really has nothing to do with the next week. And it's true. Look around the league. Everybody thinks certain teams should beat other teams. This is a National Football League. There's 32 teams in this league. Some really good football coaches and really good players. And you have to be at your best every week. And you like to be at your best every week, and sometimes that's not always the case. But you work at it, you prepare, you have a positive, consistent attitude, approach. you try to do everything you could do as a staff of putting the players in good positions and trusting your players. And then as a player, you got to take care of your body. You have to study, you have to prepare against the teams you're playing against, and then ultimately you have to execute, particularly in critical situations.
How have you seen Josh evolve, just as a passer, as a quarterback? Whereas last year he's running for 100 yards here and there almost, and now he seems more efficient.
Well, he's only played about a season and a half, probably a little bit more than that. I've said this plenty of times. I'll continue to say it. Confidence in Josh has never wavered. I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of confidence in him. He continues to improve, and that's what we strive for each week, is to improve. Is it always going to be perfect? Absolutely not. He touches the ball on every play, trying to make good decisions, lead his team the way he needs to lead his team, try to drive down, and ultimately win. And I think he's got a lot of respect from his teammates. He's been playing good football, and we're going to need him to continue to do that.
And what about how, I think malleable might be the word, but teachable. It's just, when you stress one thing, clean up, incomplete, or, turnovers, that gets fixed. It seems that he can take that part and learn from things.
Sure.
And doesn't make the same mistakes. What does that say about him? What is it about him that he's able to do that?
He's a smart player. He's a player that wants to continue to improve. He works extremely hard throughout the week. There's plays we all like to have back every week. And again, 1 week, he knows that 1 week really has nothing to do with the next week. He understands that. I think we've driven that home, enough, which it's true. I mean, it's what the National Football League is all about.
Why has Robert's snap count gone up, especially last game? So there's a big uptick there.
Sure. I think Chad Hall has done a really good job with him. Robert's another guy, he can only control what he can control, and he's had a good couple weeks of practice, and he's helped us. Whether it might not be amount of catches, but he's had a couple big pass interference penalties for us, and he's made some good productive plays. He kind of rotated in there with Isaiah throughout the game, and we'll see how it goes this week based on how we practice.
You mentioned success the last few weeks. How much of that is the continuity that's been built? I mean, you talked about the beginning of the year, 9 new starters. How much is that a problem?
And I don't know. I think that these guys work well together. They've played well. They've executed, really. Give credit to those guys. They've went out there, and they're the ones blocking and throwing and catching and making guys miss. It's a close group, but being a close group doesn't really, make much difference unless you can execute. That's the bottom line, is execute when it matters the most, play physical, play smart, and try to remain consistent with a positive approach, regardless of how the game or how a game went or how a series went. Get on to the next series, get on to the next game, have confidence in yourself, play tough, play smart.
You were 16 the last time the Bills had 10 wins in 13 games.
How old was I?
16? Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's how long this team's gone without this type of success and that opportunity to have success. What does it mean to be a part of it?
We're just trying to do the best job we can do. Look, it's good to play meaningful games in December. That's the goal. And that's where we're at. We're sitting in December. Our record is what our record is. But again, I can't stress this enough. It's a week-to-week proposition against, probably the best team in football right now. You can just look at the last 6 weeks here. The numbers are staggering.
What were you doing when you were 16?
I have no idea. Cheering these guys on, I know that.